Over at Crestview tonight, over at the Cougar Lair, we had our man Chris Bliley. Big game, of course, because we had Crestview. This is a team that's been needing to get wins, basically, to keep their pulse going within the tournament and the playoff seeds. But Monroeville, a team that's been on a tear and looking to remain undefeated in the Firelands Conference. Chris, how'd this one shake out?
It was a fantastic contest, and at first, thanks, this is not the she shed behind me. I'm in studio here today, so my wife is probably home getting ready for our Halloween party, but it was a classic game tonight over at Scott Bailey Memorial Field. Take a look at the highlights here. Monroeville coming in, started the season 1-2. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They sit at 6-2. Aiden Raymer, the halfback here for Crestview, would get the scoring started on 4th and 1 with this 15-yard run. Nice little cutback there. The first extra point up and good by Keith Abshire, and what we just saw there, my apologies, everyone. That was my rookie producer mistake. That was an Aiden Raymer to Max Durbin 53-yard touchdown pass that I came back from a commercial too late on, but the PAT was added. It was 14-0. Here, a great pass and catch, hooking up Colton Clark to Chase Horn as his offensive line gave him some time. Great catch out there by Chase Horn. Colton Clark was our scout construction MVP here tonight. That cut the score to 14-7, and then on 3rd down here, Clark would go in for his first rushing touchdown. This from 1 yard out. The PAT by Isaac Kruger would be good, and we'd be tied 14-all at the half. 3rd quarter here, Connor Boris finds the end zone as he goes over the right side, a 2-yard run, and Monroeville would lead after Krieger would make his 3rd extra point. That was 21 straight for the Eagles. Coach Haverdale made the call to the bullpen as he brought in Liam Kuhn, the right-hander, in place of Landon Robinson, and he connects from 88 yards out. Coming up, though, you'll see here that the extra point was blocked, and Monroeville would remain a 21-20 leader at this point. Clark would answer again, as this time he would go in from 10 yards out, and that would make the score 28-20 following the Krieger extra point. We now move into the 4th quarter here with about 7 minutes to go. It felt really bad for this young man. He played a whale of a game. Carter Goon there on 4th down gets 17. They needed 15. And here it's 3rd and 19, and Goon makes a miraculous catch. Wow. He was interfered with down the sideline. He got 22 yards. He needed 19. They called pass interference, but it would set them up 1st down, and Kuhn would keep it himself. He takes it in from 8 yards out, and pending the 2-point conversion. Now, both teams use a timeout here, and on the 2-point conversion, you see the pass there, and Cooper Cleary comes up and right at the goal line denies Aiden Raymer, and the Eagles would go on to win it 28-26. That gives them a clinch of the share in the Firelands Conference at 7-0 now. Of course, next week, the big one with Norwalk St. Paul for them.
What a way to lose that game if you're Crestview. I mean, that is as razor thin as it gets right there. Aiden Raymer, and you were telling me, I hadn't seen the clip yet, if he just turns his body even just like a fraction there, Chris, this is a tie game. There's like 4 minutes left, and who knows what happens. But man, if you're a fan of the Cougars or obviously a member of the team, you just got to be sick the fact that it came down to this much separating you from a tie game.
Absolutely. It was a special night at Crestview tonight. They were really celebrating 4 things. It was Veteran Appreciation Night, or Military Appreciation Night, also senior night for those seniors. Of course, they're playing for their playoff life. With a win, they probably are in the playoffs. With a loss now, they need a lot of good things to happen. And then I want to shout out, I believe his name is Mr. Baker.
Yes, sir.
After 42 years of public address announcing at Crestview Athletics, he retired tonight. It was his final game. I asked him to come on the air and be a Scout Construction co-MVP, but he said he had a face for radio, so he just decided not to come on. But shout out to Mr. Baker, 42 years with Crestview Athletics. That's incredible.
And for the Cougars, I'm kind of looking at the standings right now for them, that they're sitting at 16th. Unfortunately for them, I mean, they're very, very close to jumping a few spots if they get a win, but they've got Mapleton right now in week number 10. So every single season that they have been under the tutelage of Steve Haverdale, they've gotten into the postseason. It looks like that is going to end with the back-to-back losses against the two teams right now at the top of the standings, Western Reserve and Monroeville, two teams that you've seen more of so far than anybody else here on the OH report. So of those two teams, and Monroeville still being undefeated, Chris, what do you like about each of them vaulting their way to the top of the standings?
Yeah, well, Monroeville, their line play is incredible. Big size up front and on both sides. A lot of those guys go both ways. And tonight was the first time I really saw their line where they were matched up equally. Crestview was a little bit smaller, but they got off the ball quickly. When I watched Monroeville and Western play, the Monroeville line really took it to the Western line, and I didn't think that would happen. But Monroeville, I mean, you got to throw out the records next week. St. Paul, with a win next week, will probably host a playoff game. That's been a rivalry for I don't know how many years. They're basically separated by Starview Drive-In the middle between 3 miles between Norwalk and Monroeville. Western in Wakeman, they'll be the biggest cheerleaders rooting for St. Paul next week, as they can get a share if they win, and Monroeville falls to St. Paul. On the Western side, I think now that they've got Hayden Keith back, he is a difference maker, and I'd say the same thing for Monroeville. I watched Monroeville early when they lost to Calvert, and Colton Clark went out injured in that game, and now that he's back, it's kind of become a little air raid Eagle offense at times. Last week we saw that versus Mapleton. Tonight they really stuck it out on the ground, but I think those two teams can make deep playoff runs because they both have intimidating, strong, and aggressive line of scrimmage folks on their team.
Yeah, and you're going to be on the call for that one over at Contractor Stadium. You're coming up next Friday, so great rivalry, man. Appreciate you coming here into the studio with us. It's not quite the she shed, my friend, but pretty cozy.
Yeah, this is an awesome spot. Hopefully I can get back here. It was an easy drive from Scott Bailey Memorial Field. Hey, go Bucks tomorrow. They'll be in Camp Randall, and I'll be at the Barley House for anybody who wants to come, 9 a.m. Sunday. Pre-game tailgate. Dolphins are in town. Go Browns.
Yeah, it's usually the best part of a Brown Sunday is definitely the pregame tailgate. So appreciate the invite, Chris.